Welcome to Jed Dietrich's presentation on what to do after you suffered a personal injury. In this presentation, you will hear from real clients, not paid actors, concerning what it's like to just call Jed after you've been injured. Jed will discuss how he and his firm follow the golden rule, file the documentation to preserve your rights, and collect the best evidence to build the best case to attempt to obtain the best result for you. For more information, you can always go to calljed.com.
Me and my family, my daughter was on the drive. We both got hit.
My vehicle was rear-ended.
Car hit me in the door.
He was actually physically injured, had to go through multiple surgeries.
I'm now officially retired because of it.
I was going to the doctor 5-6 times a week. Those bills had to be paid.
I had and still have disc herniations in my low back.
They had to get the jaws of life to get me out of the car.
I was like, what do we do? And he's like, I'm gonna call Jed.
In the beginning, the partnership was a good hello.
But you just need to know where to turn.
Hardworking, absolutely amazing, fighters.
The next place to turn is call Jed's office.
They're all phenomenal. It doesn't matter who you talk to, you're gonna get an answer, and you're gonna get the right answer.
I have been very blessed and satisfied with the services that I've gotten from you.
You got me through it. I was very pleased.
And from the moment he made that phone call to you, it helped not just him being able to take that weight off his shoulders of what happened to him, but it took it off of me too.
If you are in the same situation that I am in, and you're looking for the best, Dietrich Law Firm is who you want in your corner.
I would refer everyone I know to you because of that comfort. I keep going back to that word.
I got the right answer the first time around.
Trust, honesty, and confidence for you. Desiree, thank you so much for coming back.
Thank you.
Desiree has been with us before to talk about what it's like to work with the Dietrich Law Firm after an injury accident when it wasn't your fault. Desiree's gotten some feedback from folks in the Western New York area and throughout New York State who have seen the infomercial with Desiree from before. And what do they say to you, Desiree?
They say it's good to see your face on there. They see it a couple times. I actually have one person call me. She's like, listen, I thought I was dreaming about you. I kept hearing you in my sleep. Your voice was just there. She was like, and I finally woke up and looked at the TV. It was you. I was like, that was me. But they're very happy to see it because they know the trust that they have for me puts the extra trust for you guys. And it's my pleasure to refer people over to you.
Thank you so much, Desiree. And that's what we do here. We provide information to our clients so that they can get through their hard times a little bit better. We help the folks in their time of need. We do it in a way that's respectful, trustworthy, and honest toward the folks that we're working with. And Desiree, it's so nice to have you come in and testify for us here today about what it was like to work with my firm. So if I asked you off the top of your head, what's the number one thing that when I say Dietrich Law Firm, what comes to your mind?
Comfort.
And when you say comfort, that would imply that you need to be comforted.
Yes.
And tell the folks out there what it's been like after some of these accidents that you've been in.
Yes. So when you're in a car accident, especially when it's not your fault, and usually most of the time it's not, you don't really know what to do, where to turn, and you're not looking to go somewhere and somebody just question you, just going down this list of things to do. You want somebody who's going to say, okay, well, first of all, how are you feeling? How's it going? And honestly, when I walk into your office, I walk in and the desk is like, hi, how are you? So it's like nice and soft and comforting, so you're not being attacked because you just don't know what to do or where to turn. And then you have all these forms you have to sign and fill out, and then the police already questioned you, the hospital questioned you. So you want to be somewhere where you're feeling comforted and you trust who you're talking to, because it's very upsetting or you're already upset, and to go into somewhere and you're not really sure if you even trust these people, if what they're gonna do with your information, if they're actually gonna help you. So to be able to walk in somewhere and you're feeling like, okay, I feel comfortable in my surroundings. I'm okay to talk to the people that work in your office, your staff. The staff is phenomenal. From the time you walk in, you go into a conference room. Well, I went into the conference room in a couple offices, but they offer you, hey, did you want something to drink? It's not sit there, be right back. And that's huge. That's really important to be able to go forward and know that you can go and get that type of comfort. So I say comfort because it encompasses the whole customer service, the help that you're going to feel that you're going to get, because in your head you're like, okay, what did I do? How do I get out of this mess? What's going on? What's my next action? And when you can go and say, okay, ooh, I can relax for a minute. They're going to help me. So that's what I like about your firm. I don't feel pressured or overwhelmed as much.
Best results, happy clients. Never settle for less. We fight for you. This is what we do for you. Call me at 716-839-3939. And at this point, I don't even know if I need to say anything because Desiree just did my whole job for me. But what we're doing here to take some levity with regard to something that's serious is to show you that someone's there to care for you after an injury accident. And the Dietrich Law Firm, my team, I'm Jed Dietrich and my team, we're here to care for you after your collision. Desiree mentioned a couple of things that I'd like to highlight. Our mission statement is to provide the highest level of personal injury service to you. And what I mean by that is we strive to return every single phone call, at least within one business day, usually within 2 hours. You can go on Google and look at our reviews. That's what the reviews say because that's the truth. That's the first thing. The second thing is we treat you the way we want to be treated. So we do trainings in my office, typically weekly, but definitely at least monthly, where I say to my staff, look, you have to put yourself into the client's shoes. If they don't have their wages reimbursed, you have to think about it's before Christmas time and you don't have enough money to pay for your Christmas presents for your young children. We help get the wages paid through your own insurance company. Now, there are law firms in Western New York and New York State who profess to be the largest car accident law firm in New York State. They don't help you with your no fault. They don't help you with getting your wages and your medical bills reimbursed, and that's a travesty. Any law firm that you go to should handle your wages, your medical bills, and your pain and suffering for the person who caused your injury. So after an accident, you have one very big decision to make. It doesn't cost any more to hire my law firm or any law firm in Western New York because the fee is 1/3. It's set by law. You don't owe us anything at all until the end of the case. And what we do is we fight to obtain maximum compensation. So as Desiree mentioned, she's had a couple of things with our law firm. I know her father, Joe, and he has come in and spoken on behalf of my firm. Tell us a little bit about your relationship with your family and my office and my family.
Jed, although I heard earlier that you answer your phone anytime, and you do. I've texted you myself, and I won't say where you were when you answered, but you were out of town, but you answered the phone, and we appreciate that. When we call the office, you know, at any given time, my father stopped at your office, and Peggy's always there giving them huge hugs. We've just been working with you guys for years prior to an accident, so it's just not a thing of, oh, they helped me, you know, go through my case, and that's it. We were working with you prior to on other projects. So for me and my family, my daughter was on the driver, and we both got hit, and my father, I was in the car with him. We both got hit, so we've been there for that longevity, and we so appreciate that. As we're going through, we're always consistently going, like myself. I needed help with my wages. I couldn't work at the time. I was going to the doctor 5-6 times a week. Those bills had to be paid because when you say no fault, doctors, the insurance, regular medical insurance don't cover those things. So you need somebody to fight for you. Many times I've called and, you know, Peggy was like, hey, what's going on? Because I'm just like, I don't know if I can keep doing this. I need to work. I have the bills to pay and I'm in pain and it's just a lot. So when you have a lot going on and they call, you got your office calls and checks all the time. So it's such more appreciated. My father, he had to have a shoulder surgery and, you know, he went through that process and I had a shoulder surgery as well. That's a hard process. And when you're trying to get your health together from this no-fault accident and still try to work and get those things done, it's a lot of stress. It's a lot of extra stress. My daughter was a driver and she's an actor, singer, dancer. Natanya is Natanya B. Parker and that's her brand, is actor, singer, dancer. And when she hit that accident, the only thing came in her mind, forget the car, this is my career. So, you know, she fortunately could do the rehab through physical therapy, so she didn't have to get any surgeries, but the things that's going through your mind when that happened, the last thing you need to be worried about is how this, how that. Let Jed Dietrich firm help you with that.
Desiree just alluded to the fact that you'll get forms from your insurance company and the other insurance company, and they will ask you, fill out this form, tell us how the accident occurred, which doctors you've gone to. And that sounds simple. The problem is if there's a mistake in those forms, if it's made in the beginning of the case, it can impact the rest of the case and impact how much money the client would get. So what we try to do for all of our clients, our customers, the people that we try to help, is we fill out those forms for our clients. We do it at no extra cost. The fee is always 1/3. There's no extra cost for calling us 5 times a week, or calling us once a week, or calling us once a month. And what we do with our clients, and you know this, Desiree, is we make absolutely sure there's at least one contact between our office and every single client every month. One contact between our office and the clients every month. And I've got a staff member who a good portion of her duties are to go through every single file in the office for every single lawyer to make sure that the clients have been contacted. So these are the types of things that you need to have someone there in your corner to fight for you, so you don't have to worry about it as much. Get you the right doctors, get you the right therapy, and make sure all the bills are paid, because bills will come to you. The emergency room, the ambulance will come to your house. And when those bills come, they have to be sent to your no-fault company within a short time frame. We do that on behalf of our clients as a courtesy to our clients.
Best results, happy clients. That is Jed's mission. Just call Jed now at 839-3939.
Call 839-3939. Just call Jed.
What is the Dietrich Law Firm about? Treating others the way we want to be treated, working hard and thinking before we speak so we can represent you in the best way possible. Call me at 716-839-3939.
And that's very important that you say that as well, because definitely the follow-up and the feedback was wonderful. They were always calling us just to check to see how we're doing. And again, to your point of from day one, you got to make sure those things are done. I literally sat in your office for 5 or 6 hours doing a deposition with the other lawyer. I think she was getting very annoyed because she didn't have anything to pull from. Like literally, she kept asking me the same question over and over, and I said, ma'am, I'm not trying to be funny, but you can't trip me up. This is what happened. This is how it is. And because it's documented from day one, they have nothing to pull from. So that's very important to keep you updated on. Here's what's going on. This is how I feel. And I could feel her. She kept saying, well, what about this? And what about this? Ma'am, I'm very clear. I'm not on drugs right now. I hear everything you're saying. There's no medication in my body. We're sitting here for 5 hours. You're asking me the same question, but having the paper trail of here's what happened. Here's the documented proof. We did this, we did that. She just got frustrated and stopped talking.
I'm so glad you alluded to that, Desiree, because on that particular case, we did sue the case in the New York State Supreme Court. We did the discovery, the back and forth, and then we had the deposition. Now, I want folks to know out there, about 98% of our cases settle. So if you say to yourself, I don't want to hire a lawyer because I'm afraid to go to court, that shouldn't be in your mind. 98% of our cases, you don't have to go to court. However, if the case has to go to court, we prepare every single case as if it's going to go all the way to the jury. Because if you don't, the insurance companies know that, and you can't get maximum value for the client. Now, you may say, well, my case gets sued, I have to do a deposition, I'm nervous about that. We prepare our clients. So Desiree, why don't you talk about what it was like to be prepared to perform that deposition?
Yes. So Rebecca was my lawyer. Loved her too. I love all your staff though. She called me. We did a phone interview just to kind of get ready for it. Then prior to the deposition, I went into the office a little earlier. So I kind of knew what to expect. Because of the nature of the accident, it was no fault. It was not my fault. I didn't change the story. She said, as we were going through, she was like, here's some of the questions they will ask you. Just, be calm. Just, this is what you're saying. Just keep your, what they're saying. So when the deposition happened, she put me into an office. So it wasn't a bunch of people around me coaching me. That was not what it was. Here's what happened. So Rebecca was on the other line because you guys got to be there. You're the lawyers. So you're there for the support. So if they were to ask a question that I shouldn't been asked, so to speak, she was the one that was there to say, hold on.
Objection.
Yes. So the other lawyer was there and the hearing examiner, of course, the court reporter. So it was a very easy process. I was just getting annoyed because of my profession. I know what you're trying to do and it's not working. So let's please move on. And this is me freely talking. Jed didn't say, hey, before we get on this video, we're going to talk about this. We're going to say that. That's not the way it works. This is real life, people. This is something that people go through on a daily basis. Actually, driving out this way today, there on my GPS, it was an accident up ahead. I was like, let me get off this area, because you never know what's going on. Every day on every road, I don't know what it is. This is Buffalo. There's snow, there's sunshine. It doesn't matter. There's going to be an accident because, unfortunately, people are not always paying attention. But you just need to know where to turn. The next place to turn is call Jed's office. That's the only thing I can tell you.
I'm Jed Dietrich. This is Desiree, one of my former clients. Desiree is not being compensated today. She's not being paid for her time. She's not an actress. If you look out there at the other advertisements for the other firms in our area, you'll see at the bottom it says paid actor or simulation. This is Desiree. She's telling the truth. She's sincere about what happened when she was injured, and it wasn't her fault, and why she suggests to call the Dietrich Law Firm, which I appreciate. So getting back to that deposition, I'll tell you, what we do in our office and what I train my staff lawyers to do, and I do it myself, is we try to ask you every question we think the defense attorney is going to ask so that we prepare you as well as we can, thoroughly, so that you're comfortable during the deposition, and clearly you were comfortable. So, but again, 98% of the cases do not go to trial. The vast majority don't even get sued. So if you're out there and you say, I don't want to bring a claim, I'm afraid of suing someone, that's not what you should be concerned about. What you should be concerned about is, do I have medical bills? Am I missing time from work and will I have lost wages? And now these forms are going to come to me, and there are short time windows where you have to fill out the forms in a short time window and get them back to the insurance company. We do that for our clients. It cannot be understated. Furthermore, the state of New York requires an MV-104 form that has to be filled out and sent into the state if there's more than $1,000 of damage to the vehicles. And that's an important form that you don't want to fill out incorrectly, because it'll get filed on the case. And if you bring a claim later and it's not accurate with what happened, that could be a problem with inconsistency. So we're there to fill those forms out for you. You have to fill out a no-fault application with your insurance company after a car accident. It has to be submitted to your no-fault insurance company within a short time window. We do that on behalf of our clients. So if you're out there, you were rear-ended, you were involved in a T-bone, you're injured because of someone else's negligence, it wasn't your fault, call us at 716-839-3939 or call jed.com. Desiree, I'll tell you, it's just a pleasure talking to you here right now and having the comfort level between the two of us such that you can tell the folks out there there's somewhere to turn in a time of need.
I have no problem coming under at no cost to come and say, yes, I use the services, yes, they were great. I would refer everyone I know to you because of that comfort. I keep going back to that word, because those forms you mentioned, I'm glad you guys do that, because that's not what I do. And I learned at the end when I signed all of the paperwork at the end that that's what has to happen. Many people don't know that because they're just going just day to day, just trying to see how this is going to work out with my life now. They don't know these things. So for you guys to literally do all the legwork and footwork for us, that's what you need. To sit there and start running around place to place. If I had to go to the doctor, or I was in physical therapy literally 4 times a week, and something was going on when I got there, it's like, oh, well, this and that. Because it's kind of for me, I was just like, you know me by name when I walk through the door, that's telling me I'm here a lot. But even with that being said, if I had issues, I would just call, hey, Peggy, this is what's going on. Don't worry about it, Desiree, we'll take care of it. And she did.
Injured? Car crash? Don't go subpar. Call Jed.
Although I can't guarantee the exact amount that you will receive, I can guarantee that I will battle to obtain 100% of the compensation that you deserve. Call me at 839-3939 for a free consultation.
Never settle for less. Call 839-3939. Just call Jed.
After a car crash, your license can be suspended if you don't file a form with the Department of Motor Vehicles. We file those forms for you.
Call 839-3939. Just call Jed.
So we've told the folks out there what it's like immediately after the collision. You have to fill out the MV-104 form, send it to the state of New York. We'll do that for you. So if you're involved in a collision, call us right now at 716-839-3939. We'll fill that out for you free of charge. But after that, you'll have to fill out the no-fault application. We'll help you with that also if you're injured and it wasn't your fault. After that, It's the medical treatment, the MRI, the physical therapy, the chiropractor, just going through what it's like after a collision, the timeline. Then toward the end, we typically try to settle the case if you've recovered and you're on your way and back to work. So what we do is we create a document, a settlement package document, which has the police report, the pictures of the property damage, the estimates of the property damage for both vehicles, the emergency room records, the x-rays, the MRI, the chiropractor's records, the physical therapy records, the pain management records, and God forbid if you need surgery, a surgical record, and then the physical therapy after the surgery. And then we put all that together into a very voluminous document. Absolutely. And we send it to the insurance company. Why don't you tell the folks what it was like to get a copy of that, Desiree?
Now, that day was very overwhelming. So again, this was, and I had 2 car accidents, so this was it just kept going. But that last document, Peggy is like, hey, you want something to drink? And I was like, yeah, I'll grab something. I'm glad she got me something to drink because I was there a while. I mean, the packet was so thick. I didn't realize I had that many issues. A lot of times when you're in a car accident, you don't realize what's going on until you go get that MRI, or they're saying you got a tear in your shoulder and you got this and you have that. You're going through the motions, but for them, for judge staff and firm to sit there and keep track of all those things, if I had to personally keep track, I probably would have lost something. But it was very thick. She said, hey, sit here, go through the information, let me know if you have any questions. For the most part, I was good, but I was just such in awe of how much paperwork that you guys kept track of on my behalf, and I appreciate that because, again, that's not what I do, and if I had to make sure those things were put together, it would have been a whole new situation. I was signing for quite a bit, but again, just to see, like you said, the cars, the way they got, one of my cars, they had to cut the door off to get my dad out the car, so clearly that was total. It was a little bit more than 1,000. But it's just so much information, and it's very overwhelming, just the information in general, to the fact of, okay, this is what happened. Okay, I'm just glad I'm past it. Mm-hmm. The pain is not completely gone, but it's subsided because I didn't have to do all that extra leg work. So it's definitely worth taking the time to pick up the phone, call that 716-839-3939 to say, hey, I was in a no-fault accident. What are my next steps? Make that phone call so that you can go ahead and see what you're able to do, because today you had the accident, you may not feel any pain. Tomorrow you might not feel pain. However, next week,
absolutely,
it's going to hit.
Absolutely.
Okay? So you definitely want to not wait until next week, see what your options are. Everything does not always necessarily turn into a suit, but you still need to know what your rights are.
Absolutely, and we're there to protect you. We actually will review your declaration sheet of insurance, your insurance documents, to make sure you have the right coverage, and we do that as a courtesy to you. We like to see that to see what options you can take advantage with your own insurance company. Now, folks out there may say, well, why was the document so thick? That was so thick because Desiree had so much treatment, medical treatment. So we got all your records from all your treatment providers, put those into a succinct package, and then sent that to the insurance company. And you may say, why do you do that? Doesn't the insurance company get the records themselves? Well, they're supposed to, but the insurance company adjusters have a lot of files. So what I tell my staff is, and this is important for folks out there to understand, we do our job and we do the insurance company's job, so they've got no excuse not to put an offer on your case to settle the case. Because a lot of lawyers will send the authorizations to get the medical records to the insurance company. If the insurance company wants the authorizations and the records, we'll send them both. What we like to do is put the suspenders and the belt on. So your pants are going to be up no matter what. Why do we do that? So the insurance company does not have excuses to say, oh, I don't have the no-fault file. Oh, I don't have the estimate of damage. Oh, I don't have the pictures. I don't have the statement from your client after the accident. So if you take away all those barriers, those hurdles that the insurance company typically uses to say, I can't make an offer, or my file's not complete, then the cases go through the system faster. And you may say, well, that takes more of your staff's time. Absolutely, but it's better for the client. We don't make any more money, but we get the cases settled more quickly, I believe, and for a better value. And again, we can't guarantee prior results, but what I can say is we've got a protocol, a system, that's in place that has been proven over the last 20 years. My firm is 20 years old this year, and I appreciate that. I'm very proud of my firm. It was Peggy and I started the firm, and it was in 2005. Wow. And before that, I was in the district attorney's office, and I enjoyed that job too, because I felt I was representing the right side. I was representing the folks that were holding other people accountable who committed crimes. And I feel the same way with regard to the position I'm in now. We hold people accountable who cause you injuries. So if you've got a stiff neck for the rest of your life, you should be compensated for that. And the only way to do it in a way to maximize compensation for you is to make sure we turn over every rock, we get every single piece of paper concerning your medical treatment, and then we interact with you as we go along so we can appreciate what your injury was. How injured are you? What can't you do around the house in terms of taking out the garbage or getting into your car without bending over properly, or putting things into the trunk of your car. Again, I've been through this over the last 20 years with many clients. I know what they tell me. They tell me, I can't roller skate anymore. I can't go play tennis. And those are the aggressive things. A lot of people can't bend over and put the dishes in the dishwasher.
I was riding my bike.
We were in the car together and we were hit.
And it did not stop. It hit me.
Pretty much hit me head on.
I got hit from behind.
My leg was broken in several places.
I had many fractures.
And then I get that phone call and he's been hit.
I knew right away something wasn't right.
My injuries were getting worse.
I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what was going on. And that's when I knew I had to give you a call.
Contact Jed.
I said, who can I call to help me again? Jed Dietrich.
Oh, that was amazing. When I got a hold of you guys and you guys took care of everything.
It was almost like I felt led to reach out to you. It was almost like I felt led to reach out to you.
And I called you and you handled that thing. I mean, you handled it.
I calmed right down because you explained everything.
You came right to the house.
Contact Jed.
You guys took that load off of me. What I didn't know, you guys filled me in.
I knew that I was in good hands and people that I could trust.
Contact Jed.
When you're suffering, to know someone is there for you. That means a lot, Jed.
It made me feel comfortable that all I had to do was focus on my recovery.
You stand by your word.
It just felt right.
I didn't have to deal with the insurance company anymore.
Putting yourselves in my shoes, and I really appreciated that.
I just knew that it was going to be taken care of.
Contact Jed.
Yeah, you're a real fighter.
The whole experience in general was amazing.
It was superb.
A weight off my shoulders.
Contact Jed.
Above and beyond.
That's someone who you should go for.
I would only trust Jed Dietrich.
Contact Jed.
After a car crash, you need a lawyer to fight for you. The insurance companies will be fighting you, and you need someone in your corner. Call me at 716-839-3939.
Just call Jed.
How are you doing now, Desiree?
I'm doing a lot better.
Good.
I still have a few restrictions, but I feel a lot better where I can move on. The
Good.
weather is my best friend. When I was younger, I used to hear the older generation say, hey, it's gonna rain today. I kind of feel like that. I had a neck surgery, I had a shoulder surgery, so I can feel those. But in the retrospect, whenever they do the x-rays of my neck, they're like, oh, they did a really good job with the screws in your neck. Okay, great, but it's raining today.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I'm doing great. I'm just glad to be able to be of assistance because a lot of people just does not know where to turn. And I'm glad I can give them an outlet to go to. And I appreciate you all just, being who you are, and congratulations on being here 20 years, and you still have much more work to do, so don't go anywhere. But it's just to have that outlet and know where to turn to, because we really don't. And that's why even with my business, doing business consulting, I like to be that outlet that have referrals to send people to, because you go to somebody for help, but what if you don't know where that help to go to is? So I'm glad you're able to be there, and your staff, like I said, is amazing. And Peggy, from day one, even when I see her in passing or just stopping out to the office to say hello, because the last time I left, I said, I love you guys, but I do not want to see you that often again. And I told Rebecca that. She's like, me too. But it's great to come out and just say, hello, how are you doing, without having to, go through that whole process again.
Thank you so much, Desiree. It's a pleasure as always. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.